Pressure is rising on the main line. Compensating. Opening valve 3 now. Level stabilizing. Good call.
What if I told you that beneath the surface of California's largest reservoir lie entire towns, forgotten streets, sacred tribal lands, and stories that were never fully told? Rising 602 feet above the waters of the Sacramento River, Shasta Dam stands as one of the most powerful and controversial engineering projects in American history. It is not just a massive wall of concrete, it is a story of ambition, survival during economic collapse, wartime urgency, environmental change, and cultural sacrifice. In the early 20th century, California's Central Valley faced extreme water instability. During winter storms, the Sacramento River would flood farms, homes, and entire communities. In the summer, the same region would suffer severe drought. Farmers struggled. Crops failed. Towns feared the next flood season. Water was either too much or too little, never controlled. By the 1930s, during the Great Depression, the federal government sought massive infrastructure projects that could both provide jobs and stabilize the economy. The Central Valley Project was born, one of the largest water management systems ever attempted in the United States. The responsibility for building it was given to the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation. The goal was bold: control floods, store water, irrigate farmland, and generate hydroelectric power. In 1938, construction officially began near Redding in Northern California. Thousands of workers arrived at the remote canyon site. At first, engineers had to divert the Sacramento River through massive tunnels blasted through solid rock. Explosions echoed through the canyon walls. Steam shovels carved into the earth. Temporary worker camps were built. For many families struggling during the Depression, Shasta Dam meant employment, food, and survival. Pouring concrete for a structure of this size required extraordinary coordination. Concrete was poured in enormous blocks to control heat and prevent cracking. Rail systems transported materials across the site. Day and night, the project continued. When World War II began, construction did not stop. In fact, it became even more critical. The electricity generated by the dam would power shipyards, aircraft factories, and defense industries along the West Coast. Shasta Dam became part of the American wartime machine. By 1945, the structure was complete. Standing 62 tall and stretching more than 400 feet across, it was one of the tallest concrete dams in the nation at the time. Behind it, water began to rise.
We are gathered here to dedicate this monument to our enduring values.
Shasta Lake was formed, today the largest reservoir in California. But as the water rose, so did the cost. Entire towns vanished beneath the surface. The mining town of Kennett was flooded. Homes were dismantled or abandoned. Cemeteries were relocated. Roads were erased. Beneath today's lake lie foundations, rail lines, and memories of communities that once thrived there. Even more significant was the flooding of ancestral lands belonging to the Winnemem-Wintu tribe. Sacred sites, cultural landmarks, and traditional territories disappeared underwater. For the tribe, this was not just development, it was loss. Decades later, calls for cultural recognition and restoration continue. Inside the dam, massive turbines were installed. When water rushes downward through the penstocks, it spins these turbines, generating hydroelectric power. Over the decades, Shasta Dam has produced hundreds of megawatts of renewable electricity. It has provided irrigation water to millions of acres of farmland across California's Central Valley. It has protected downstream cities from catastrophic flooding. It has supplied drinking water to communities far beyond its immediate region. Yet dams fundamentally change rivers. The natural flow of the Sacramento River was permanently altered. Salmon populations, once migrating freely upstream to spawn, declined sharply. The dam blocked access to cold mountain streams essential for fish reproduction. Water temperature changes affected ecosystems. Environmental groups began questioning whether the benefits justified the ecological damage. In the 1960s and 1970s, Shasta Lake became a major recreation destination. Houseboats dotted the shoreline. Tourism flourished. What was once a canyon of small towns transformed into a vacation landscape. But new challenges emerged in the late 20th and early 21st centuries. Severe droughts struck California repeatedly. During dry years, Water levels at Shasta Lake dropped dramatically,
Let's check this
revealing
beam's
exposed
alignment.
shorelines
Agreed. The
and
reverse
even
spacing
remnants
here
of
looks
old
good. Yes,
structures
it's
long
compliant.
hidden
Good.
beneath the
Next
water.
section.
Climate change intensified debates over water storage and management. In the 2010s,
this crack
proposals
here?
were
It's deeper than the
introduced to
others.
raise the height
Yeah,
of
I see.
Shasta
What's the
Dam
width?
to increase
About 3
water
millimeters.
storage
Okay,
capacity.
logging it.
Supporters argued that expanding the dam would improve drought resilience and secure water for agriculture and cities. Opponents warned that raising the dam would flood additional tribal lands and cause further environmental damage. The debate remains unresolved, reflecting the broader tension between development and preservation in modern America. Today, Shasta Dam continues operating as a key part of California's water system. Engineers constantly monitor its structural integrity. Upgrades and safety inspections ensure it meets modern standards. It remains a cornerstone of the Central Valley Project, a project that reshaped California's economy and environment. From 1938 to the present, Shasta Dam
How
has
are the stress
represented
readings
more
on
than
this section?
engineering.
Within
It
safe
symbolizes
limits.
how
This pillar
societies
here is the one
respond
to
to
watch.
crisis.
Okay, logging that.
It reflects the desperation of the Great Depression, the urgency of World
Levels
War
are
II,
stable.
the
Extending
rise
the
of
probe.
industrial
Copy
agriculture,
that.
and the
Calibrating
growing
now.
awareness
Readings
of
are good. Check
environmental
the tablet.
responsibility.
Confirmed.
It brought jobs when people needed hope. It powered factories during global war. It irrigated fields that feed millions. It also submerged towns, altered ecosystems, and sparked cultural and environmental controversy. Standing above the Sacramento River, the concrete wall appears silent and immovable. But its history is filled with human stories of workers, families, tribal communities, engineers, farmers, and activists. Beneath the calm blue waters of Shasta Lake lies a hidden world, foundations of the past supporting the present. And as California faces an uncertain climate future, the role of Shasta Dam remains as important and as debated as ever.